This is Gary with MACMOST. Let's take a look at what's new in iOS 18. So even before Apple Intelligence comes out, there are a whole bunch of new features in iOS 18. So when you update or get a new iPhone, check these out. First, you can now rearrange the icons on your screen and leave gaps, putting the icons wherever you want. So I'm going to tap and hold one of these and then drag it down. And you can see I could place it here at the bottom, leaving this gap. The rest work like a list like before, but as soon as you've dragged them all out, you really have complete control over where all of these icons go. You can also change how that home screen looks completely. Tap and hold anywhere until you're in wiggle mode. Then tap Edit and Customize. Now you can go from light to dark mode, or if you just want to get rid of the colors in the icon completely, go to Tinted. Now you can choose a color and all the icons will be tinted that color. You can use the eyedropper tool and select a color from the background there. You can also get rid of the labels and just go with larger icons. Now you know that flashlight button at the bottom left-hand corner of your lock screen? The one you accidentally tap every once in a while and now the flashlight's on, draining the battery? Well, you can get rid of that and replace it with something else. Go into Settings and then to Wallpaper. And then tap on the lock screen that you see right there. If you've got different wallpaper sets, make sure to go to the one you're using. Once you get to that, notice how you can use the minus button here and get rid of the flashlight. You could just leave that spot empty, or you can tap the plus button there and add a button that might be more useful to you. You can even add a shortcut so you can do just about anything with that spot. Another thing you can do on the home screen is now lock apps so that it requires either Face ID, Touch ID, or a passcode to get into them, even if your iPhone's unlocked. You can't do this for all apps, but for the ones that work, you can tap and hold and then select Require Face ID and then confirm. Now it'll say Touch ID if you use Touch ID, or it'll say passcode if you use neither. And now when you go to access that app, it's going to have that extra layer of security to get into the app. By the way, if you find these videos useful, you can join the more than 2,000 others that support MACMOST at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. Read about it right here. You can also customize Control Center now on iOS 18. So you drag down from the top right to bring up Control Center, tap and hold on the blank spot at the bottom, and then go to Add. Then you can add another button. So for instance, let's add a button to start a timer quickly, and you can see how that's added there. And you can also drag the bottom right corner of a lot of these to expand them into larger buttons, sometimes with more functions. In the Messages app, if you use Tap Back by tapping and holding on one of the messages you've received, you've got the standard 6 responses. But you can now use any emoji and respond with that. You can tap the last item there and it gives you the full set of emoji to use as tap back responses. You can also use stickers that you've created as well. But the biggest new feature in Messages is the ability to, instead of tapping here to send the message right away, tap plus next to it and now select Send Later. And now you can schedule a message to be sent at a later time or date. The functionality of the built-in iOS Passwords Manager hasn't changed much, but what's different now is instead of going into the Settings app, there's now an independent app that you can use to access all your passwords. The Voice Memos app lets you record memos just like before. But a new feature now is the ability to see a transcript of what you recorded. So I'll stop this recording here and you can see this little indicator here saying that there's a transcript. You can tap the 3 dots button and view transcript or go into editing mode and you can see the transcript. You can jump right to a portion of the audio by clicking on a word. You could also copy and paste from the transcript. This also works in the Notes app if you use Record Audio there. But the coolest new thing in Notes is the ability to do math. All you need to do is just type the math equation using standard math symbols. The equals key is what will trigger the calculation there. You can then go in and edit the equation like that and you can see the answer updated. You could also do all sorts of things like using parentheses, math functions. You could set variables and then have calculations based on those variables and then simply update those variables to change the results. You also have the ability now in Notes to highlight text just make the selection that you want and then use the font style button here, and a new option is highlight, and you can select from several different colors. And finally, check out this new functionality in the Maps app. If you go to a wilderness area like a national park, you're going to see topographic lines. Plus you can also plot a course using trails. So here I've got a trailhead that I looked up, and I can use create a custom route like that. Then I can select another point along a trail like this one here, and it will plot the course along the various trails, even show me elevation gain, and I could do all sorts of various things to track my progress along that trail. If you want to know if your iPhone will support iOS 18, all you need to do is go to the iOS 18 page at apple.com. Scroll down to the bottom and you'll find this list of all the devices that are supported. But also if you scroll back up on the same page, you'll find various footnotes for some of the features. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and you could read these footnotes, and they'll often tell you if these features only work in certain languages, regions, or with certain models of the iPhone. So a lot of cool new things to check out in iOS 18. And remember, in iOS 18.1 and 18.2 later this year, we're going to be getting some cool new Apple Intelligence features as well. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.